Hello, everybody. So nice to be here together with you. I am Ghislaine, and my co host today is Kristen. I should have actually started with you, Kristen. I'm so sorry. You know, the polite thing to do is this is Kristen and I'm Ghislaine. Well, okay, this is Kristen and I am Ghislaine. Hi. We are being silly. Okay, I'm going to be honest because full disclosure, this is what this is about. We are a little bit nervous. But so now that we got that out of the equation, we are here to share about our challenges, our breakthroughs. We are going to be laughing a lot with each other and we are going to be holding space for each other as we share our lives, our personal lives, our love lives. Maybe my husband doesn't know that. Okay. Okay.
Not
Love
much of a
lives.
love life right now, so there's not much to share.
And we are going to be sharing how we are building our companies and businesses. And well, we are mainly going to be sharing about how there is no model for what we are doing, as what we are doing is unheard of. Even we haven't heard about it yet.
Even we don't know what we're doing yet.
So basically, this is a podcast or a video on. We have no idea what the fuck we're doing, and we
We're
are
just going for it.
exactly,
We're letting it unfold,
and we
however
are
it will.
sharing it with the world. Ta-ta!
Which is a little nervous. I'm a
Yes,
little nervous.
it's a little bit nerve-wracking. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how are you doing, Kristen?
Oh,
How's
how am
your
I doing?
day? How has your day been?
Good, good. I had a call right before this, which brought up something we talked briefly about yesterday in our
Mm-hmm.
other group.
Yeah.
And it was about being comfortable.
Oh, interesting.
So yesterday we talked about like wanting to be comfortable, like sitting wise, because I discussed clearly I'm on a bed and not having like a place that I like to sit long term
Yeah.
besides for the bed.
Yeah.
But when we were talking about it, what popped into my head later was how much of my desire to be comfortable
Mm-hmm.
physically and like not just in what I'm sitting, but in my clothes and everything. How much of that is then a reflection of me not wanting to move out of comfort zone?
That is very interesting.
Because it was like, or how slow am I making the process because I want to be comfortable in the process instead of like taking like a massive leap. I'm being uncomfortable. How much am I making sure that I'm staying comfortable each step? So it's like slowing down the process.
Yeah, well, and if you think about it in that way, there's clearly this desire to not move, as where you are is just cozy. There's no rush, there's no survival, there's no need for survival or to go and do and create something else. So what was
I
the
mean, I don't
conclusion?
really want to create from the survival aspect.
No, exactly. Yeah, no.
I don't want to
Well,
create from that. Because then it like it just to me like then it just feels ugh to me.
hmm,
Right. But how much of it is that like, oh well, this is comfortable. I'm comfortable in it. And if I make a shift that's too big or too great, then I'm gonna be uncomfortable. And I just don't want to be uncomfortable.
but isn't that just what growth is? Growth is going into the, because you say, I don't want to create from the survival. I completely understand what you say, but survival is also just it's a short moment. We are not, we're not supposed to be always in survival. If you look at
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
old times, we used to, run for from an animal and then we would be safe again, hopefully. Well,
I'm
short
pretty sure the
survival.
tiger would have got me.
Yeah.
Sure, the tiger would ate
Jump in
me.
the water, jump in the water.
I can see it.
Well, okay, let's create this ideal
I
image
know
in
what
our
you mean.
head that we just would have
Yeah.
needed, this short So survival, this boost of energy actually, which is what survival would be in this
Mhm.
modern society, this boost of energy that ignites something and that sets something on a run, on a roll, on a roll. Roll. That's the expression, yes? To set something on a roll. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So that's good survival ignition, isn't it?
Hmm.
But then every change, everything you want to change comes from this need, this this desire to survive actually. So isn't that bad?
But I think like to me, like change is always happening, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
always shifting, we're always changing. So it's a constant state. But then it's like, am I impeding my growth? Am I impeding my making big changes? Because I want to make sure I'm comfortable, and not just physically comfortable, but actually, I guess it could be physically comfortable too, because then it's like, okay, well, I want my body to be comfortable. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit on my bed. It's comfy. I got my like sweater. It's comfy. I got, like I got my warm, cozy socks on. Um, I'm wearing comfortable clothes. So it's physical comfort. But then I don't like is but then when I feel discomfort, I actually feel it in my body. I'm not feeling it in my head.
This is
You know
very
what
interesting
I'm
because
saying?
I believe the channel, I believe our bodies is a channel that resonates everything that happens in our thought, in our minds, in our frequency, in our
Mhm.
energy, and that's the way the soul speaks to us. So by keeping your body comfortable, if we go from that state of mind that the body is the channel that
Mhm.
translates everything,
Yeah.
and that you really keep your body comfortable, then yes, you're not allowing anything new to come into your world.
Mhm.
So, and that's also when people go to, they have muscle pain and muscle ache. They're like, I don't want to ever feel muscle ache or muscle pain. But that's the body growing. And
Mhm.
that's the moving of the energy. So on a very, on just on the level of the body, muscle pain is actually good.
Yeah.
We need that. But a few months ago, I think maybe longer than a year ago, you did like humongously step out of your comfort zone.
Yes, I did. But it
Yes.
wasn't. Yes, I did. Well,
So,
I
well,
left my job.
for people
I
that
left
don't know you, yeah, just tell us, what did you do?
I left my 16-year career
Mm-hmm. That's first
and
step out of your comfort zone, yeah.
without a plan.
Yeah.
I got rid of almost everything I own,
Mm-hmm.
got rid of my apartment. I gave up permanent residency in a build in a like a one building, one
Mm-hmm.
place,
Mm-hmm.
and then I traveled the world for like a year and a half
Yeah,
in a
exactly.
bunch of places that don't speak my like English, or that's not the native language there. So I, which is how we met.
Which is how we met. Yes,
Which is how we met.
exactly. Yeah.
Um, yeah, but like, so where is the disconnect then? Like, it's
Well,
because
it's
it's a massive shift. It's
yes,
and it was completely about going out of my comfort zone. But I think I put myself in situations where I didn't have a choice but to move out of my comfort zone. In the sense, well, you always have a choice. You always have a choice. But if I wanted to eat or like do, do more than just sit inside, I had to
yeah,
put myself out of my comfort zone.
yes.
So um it was like kind of forcing myself in a way
Mm-hmm.
to stretch myself.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of stretch. It was like, I mean, there was a lot for me, like especially at the beginning when I first like when because I started in England, and then when I moved, then I went to France, and so like my first non-speaking country, that was a lot of like non-speaking English. I know
Yeah.
what I know you guys speak.
Well,
I know you
first
have
non-English
language, just
speaking
not what I
country.
understand.
You could have chosen, well, Germany and France. I think those are the worst countries in Europe to go to when you don't speak the language. So you chose
Well, I
France.
know I
Yeah.
understand more German than I do French. So yeah, I picked like the hardest one. Like put it
Yeah.
right up. Put it in my head. I was like, it's right there, right? Like
Yeah, it's right over the. Yeah, you just have to cross the water, and there is
I
France.
did on a boat, and they were like, hey,
Yeah.
no,
Comfort zone.
so like it was constantly moving out of my comfort zone, and there was a lot of growth in it. Like it had, like it was very for me. It was very confrontational at the beginning.
And so, what is interesting now is that you consciously put yourself out your comfort zone by making this life choice. And now, because what is happening now is you are noticing you want to be comfortable. So, what happened?
I
What
went
is
from
the
one extreme to
moment?
the other.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it goes into like that aspect of growth. Like for me, in that it was like I was having fun
Mm-hmm.
in it as well. So like that, and the like my passions were coming out in different ways and finding new passions. And I think there's anything new is uncomfortable. Like
Mm-hmm.
um, and it takes practice. So I mean, logically, I know this. Um, but it's like my physical comfort with my body, I think, is a lot of like cold plunges.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't, like, I've done it once and I like really can't wrap my head around it.
But
Like to
that's
me it just
very,
sounds miserable, even though
but
I've done it and I wasn't miserable.
But you know, that's very interesting because the body holds everything. And I'm a strong believer that people that are spiritual and that have a disbalance in the body, you know, create an excuse for themselves. Yes, but I'm spiritual, so my body is okay. They create this disconnect. They have no connection with their body. And I'm not saying this is what you're doing, but
I was like, I do
a
have a
little
connection
bit,
with my
a
body.
little bit. It is
I
what
have
you're
a
doing a
connection with my
little bit.
body. It's just more yeah, no, there is, because I don't like, but I'm willing to feel things in my body, but I don't like to create discomfort in my body.
Okay, but I'm gonna be the bringer of bad news here.
Well, no,
Um,
that's fine. This is like right around, this is all around your wheelhouse. This is like what you do. So
yeah.
do
Well,
it, do it. Yeah.
we spoke in other conversations. We
Mhm.
spoke about the fact that you are wanting to bring out programs into the world, to create something into the world, and then you go and you stop and you go and you stop and you go and you stop. And so maybe the invitation here, one now that you are noticing the comfort that you put your body in, maybe the invitation is not to go from the creation, to go from the mind, or to go from the programs that you want to create, but to go from the body. So get your body somewhere where she is not feeling comfortable, every day a cold shower, or get your ass on a like low like chair that is really hard every day, or you know, but because then there's a click, you know, there's the click there's going to come. Yes, exactly. And I see at your reaction that this is exactly what you're needing. Resistance, resistance. I'll call out the resistance. Stop talking? Is that what you said?
I'm like, ugh, no, I need to, I like, yes, I need to do that. And I was thinking, you know, like um the whole perspective of like be like live the life you want to live.
Mm-hmm.
Like start embodying the life you want to embody. And I'm like, I'm definitely not doing that. Like I know I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically right now, like when I'm traveling, I feel like I am. When I come back into the States, when I come back into you know, like I still don't have a permanent residence. So when I come back into family dynamics, when I come back into um
Safety.
safety, is yeah, it's like the United States is my comfort zone. The whole United States, the, the whole country. And when I come back into that, it's super easy for me to stop living from this perspective of who I, because it goes into this awareness too of like when I'm in Europe, I'm like put together almost every day because no one goes out in their pajamas in Europe unless you're going out to work out or you're going like down the street.
Oh, it depends. It depends the countries, but like, okay, well, no, usually no.
Usually,
Usually no, but
okay,
I've never been to the
no one
States.
is a broad statement,
Well,
but
I've never been to the States, so I don't know how it's. Well, I have, but I
well,
was
you can
too
just
young
bring
to
your
notice it.
pajamas. You don't need
Oh,
anything else.
okay. I can buy them there actually. They're going to be cheaper than bring them over.
Your yoga clothes, you're good to go. You're sweaty, your sweats.
Yeah.
That's so not fair. I'm sorry, United States. Um, but like when I'm there, I I'm it's like I'm a different person. And I'm not the same person.
Mhm.
It's just it's like, oh, interesting. It's like permission. Like I have it's like it's not a changing to belong because I don't feel that's the aspect.
Mm.
Um or changing to fit in. I feel like it's more like there's more, I feel when I'm there, there's more personal expression.
So what resonates when you share this for me, and maybe that can like help you as well, is that when you are somewhere where um, like I come from France, I live in the Netherlands, yes, and I notice when I am in France that I am a different person, even when I'm not with my family. So just the country being there, something is
It's
very.
the collective energy.
Exactly, it's the collective energy, and there's something that feels like you are being swayed, like you know, like a baby that is being swayed in his
Mm-hmm.
thingy. You are
Mm-hmm.
being swayed in this way of being that you feel is very authentic to yourself, which is very
Yeah.
weird because I left France like more than 25, something like that, more than like 25 years ago.
No
And
one's counting.
I've lived longer in the Netherlands than I've lived in France because I left when I was 19. So it, it is so strange to me, but it happened. So there is this collective in a country that just makes you come
Yes.
back into, but it's not particularly comfort because it's not like I feel really well. Is it comfort? No, I don't know. I don't like the word comfort to describe this. It's not what I would use, but
Familiar.
yeah, yeah, maybe
Because
that's
it
a
is
better
the
word.
collective energy that, I mean, like anywhere we go, we can like feel the collective energy and we may not realize it, right? Like, because the only time I feel disconnected from this aspect of me, where I'm like, I'm just gonna be comfortable and hang out on my bed,
Comfy, comfy, comfy.
comfy, comfy, take all my calls with the blurry background. Um, is when I'm in nature, which is then like I when I'm going to like national parks, when
Mm-hmm.
I'm hiking, I'm doing those things. And I'm completely disconnected from the collective energy of like a city, a town, which is like, when I'm disconnected from all those, sorry, I don't want to say anything to them. When I'm completely disconnected from all those aspects of those belief systems,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in
Mm-hmm.
nature,
Yeah, belief systems.
I'm like, I feel very much myself in that aspect too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a different aspect of myself too, because this is something I've been playing with as well, is we're all so multidimensional, and we all have these aspects, and a lot of times we only focus on one aspect of who we are,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we get so comfortable in that one aspect. And then it's not like, oh, I'm also the outdoorsy girl that likes to hike and go camping, and I can sleep in my car. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm also I guess I should use the woman who
Nice,
is
nice.
sensual and sexy and likes to dance and likes to be in connection with her own body. And I'm also the woman who likes to travel and have delicious, like, unheard of meals and have some wine and like all of those aspects, and you put them all together. I also love to ride motorcycles. Like, you put all those things together and you're like, these are different people, but they're not. They're different aspects of who I am. And
But
I'm
so,
comfortable in
yeah.
each of those aspects of me. I don't feel like it's, oh, I'm not being my authentic self in any of those places. I feel like I'm being a different aspect of my authentic self in all of those versions. The only version I don't feel is authentic is the one who likes to sit here and do nothing.
Aha, that's what I wanted to ask you. So why are you sitting on your bed?
because it's
Sorry.
comfortable. No, part of it is I was looking at chairs to purchase yesterday. I did look into like buying a chair.
Are you going to make a whole story of it and not go directly to the emotions and to why you are sitting on your bed? Is it a story you are creating for
No,
yourself,
I think
or
it's
is
I
it
don't have another place to go in this place.
okay?
Like, in this, in where I currently am, there's not another place for me to go
Mm-hmm.
um that has decent internet.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I've thought about, like, okay, going to cafes, but I can't take calls in cafes. Like, there's just not
No, especially not if you speak about quite personal things.
personal things. Yeah. So like, um so I think there's like, so looking at, like, I was looking at chairs so that I could move, like, from here and just like move to a different place. But interesting. So the only place I really don't feel like myself is when I'm doing, like, not doing this. I feel like myself doing this, but I don't feel authentic in, or my best. It's like, I think it's still authentic. It's just a lower vibrational authenticity that I don't really want to sit in.
Well, maybe it's also because you don't really want to be where you are at the moment in
Mm.
general in life. And I'm not specifically talking about your
Yeah.
brother's house. Bless your brother. I mean, I don't want him to kick you out if he hears this. So, but uh,
Gonna get me evicted.
whoop whoop.
No, I think it is more about where I, like, am in life.
Yes,
Um,
it symbolizes something. It
mhm,
symbolizes where, because so the comfort zone, the realization that you are in the comfort zone and you're keeping yourself comfortable is
mhm.
really just the backbone of the bigger thing it's coming to tell you.
Yeah. So how does comfort play out for you? Or not being comfortable?
Well, I don't know if it's completely related to comfort, but I distract myself a lot to stay. So, yeah, I distract myself a lot from anything. I noticed lately that when I'm journaling, for example, all of a sudden I have this thought in my mind that pops up that I still need to go to the the animal
Veterinarian.
doctor, the animal doctor, yes, to bring back medication and that kind of things. And then I'm like, oh, I need to write this down, and it's okay. It's so what I tell myself in my mind is it's okay. I distract myself from journaling by thinking about other things that I have to do because those are important things that I need to take care of. But the truth of the matter is that I know that if I am fully present with what I am doing, the journaling, there is nothing that distracts me from that journaling. So I'm bringing myself out of those things by, well, and then, taking care of things is comfort because then you have things, I'm controlling things.
But is that the same version of comfort? Or
No,
because it's a different version of comfort, it's a different definition of comfort.
it's what brings me comfort.
It's what brings you peace.
It's what, yes, it's comfortable because it brings me peace. It brings me peace because I have on a list all the things that I'm doing, and then, oh, I took care of that list. Okay, I can go back to the journaling. But the truth is that if I'm truly present in the moment with my whole body, soul, mind, the hand that is writing, I'm not distracting myself.
So what if though, like when things pop up, do you journal about that or do you push it out?
I write them down. I make a list of to-dos.
Because what if you add that to part of your journaling? So
Yeah.
what it's like that brain dump, that automatic writing, like it's coming up, you just keep on going, writing it out, and then it's like done, it's on the paper.
Mm-hmm. So it becomes part of the journaling.
It becomes part of the journaling.
Haven't done that yet.
Because that way you're not like, it's not taking you out of the journaling.
Exactly.
And I would say even like like have you done like the brain dump automatic writing where you just like kind of vomit on paper?
I
Like,
have, yes, but usually I don't. Uh, I'm just a few sentences and then I'm done, so to say.
so what if like, or you start more with the brain dump and then you
Mm-hmm.
go into the writing?
Yeah, but I have a special journal for journaling. Don't have a journal for brain dumps.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
technically that is journaling though.
Yeah.
It's still
but this is,
journaling. It's just
but
not
this is,
journaling what you want to
but this
journal.
is what I tell myself. Journaling should be pretty and well, pretty is maybe not the right word, but it should be constructed and it should really go deep, and it's not uh, about the superficial things. And so that's what I tell myself.
So it's more about, it's not being so the discomfort is in the process of it not being pretty, and
Yes.
not pretty being like, it's not
Well,
being the
it's
way
not
you
only
want it to
deep
be.
and it's not only deep and profound, I mean, I want someone in 200 years to find my journal and to go, wow, this woman was enlightened. And if I'm writing in between,
Paper are
oh,
you writing on? The magical kind?
and if I write in between, oh, I need to put my, to throw my flowers away because they really start to smell like, bed flowers. They go
But
bad
if
in water. So if I just in the middle of my enlightened thoughts write this down, I mean, this person in 2000 years is never going to believe that I was enlightened.
no, but what they will be see is they'll be like, wow, she does that too.
She was just a normal person.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Because I think like
Yeah.
we all do that,
Yeah.
and then we make ourselves wrong. We shame ourselves for it.
Yeah. Exactly, but that's also it's uncomfortable, and it's the same as what I was sharing with you. It's because when I know I have things to do still that are here, so imagine I get this brain dump that just tells me all the things I have to do, then I'm bringing myself. Uh, I lost my thought. I just completely lost my thought.
So it's uncomfortable.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yes, this is what I wanted to say. It feels really uncomfortable in my body to have things loose ends. I feel the discomfort in my body. So this is exactly what I was telling you actually
Mhm.
also to do. Is just, bring yourself to where the body feels the discomfort, because there is the gold, because the body knows and holds everything. And as long as you store it and hold it in your body, you're never going to be able to truly be fully focused on the journaling.
Yeah.
Because I believe there are people that are able to just be journaling without being distracted by uh, mundane things. Well, yeah, okay.
If it's weighing on you,
Yeah.
then it's not mundane. So I would say
Hmm.
writing, like what are you defining as mundane? And
Moving.
how is something that is part of your everyday life less important than an enlightened thought?
Exactly. So it's putting things in categories and prioritizing
Mhm.
re-
You
yeah,
got check, you got it.
uh, things that are more important than other things,
But
because that's my belief system.
and in that, it's a belief system. So
Mhm.
it's who's to say that one's more important than the other?
This is really, really funny, because I was talking about this with a friend yesterday. We were talking about, well, we were talking about things that are seen in society
Mhm,
as being more important than other things. And we
mhm,
were talking, for example, about veganism.
mhm,
Vegans believe that the life of certain animals is more important than the life of other animals, because within every industry there are, I mean, we are using the earth, so there is one form of life that is being destructed, or there's a form of life that is being destructed because you are eating meat, or there's a form of life that is being destructed because your broccoli needs to grow somewhere. Yes.
mhm.
And then we were talking about uh, things that are expensive are usually seen as more valuable than things that are cheaper. They are seen as less valuable. So we have this tendency within society, within this modern world we live in, to categorize things in important, less important, better, less good. And so I do the same with those tasks are less important, and I shouldn't be journaling about it in my beautiful notebook. Yes. And this is more important, and I'll journal about it in my beautiful notebook, which is
Which is interesting too, though, because when you're saying that, what's coming through also is if those are the thoughts that are weighing on you, then those are impacting you more than the enlightened thoughts.
exactly. And
And
those
those thoughts
thoughts,
need to be addressed more than the enlightened one,
because they are keeping me away from my supreme destiny, so to say. Yeah.
because those are like adding weight to the
Yes.
way you feel. They're adding
They are
stress.
adding le brouhaha, we say in French, the chatter.
Mhm. And so by just adding like and maybe doing it in an interactive, well, I can feel how uncomfortable this is making you. As soon as I was about to say this, I was like, oh, she's not gonna like this.
Okay, enlighten me. What am I not gonna like? I'm gonna write it down on my scrap notebook.
Not in the
Not the
journal,
real
not in
one.
the
Not in a real one. Yeah,
yeah.
tell me.
So maybe and there's aspects of me that I do this too. So I get it. I use post-its as a way to avoid it. But so I mean,
Dear
like
Pretty.
so maybe looking at oh sorry. Maybe looking at like doing it as an where
An
you
inter
just
what?
more interactive in the sense of using the journal in multiple ways. So journaling and then going through and finding all those random things that popped in your head, circling them, creating your to-do list from that later. Or if you don't want to circle, there's highlighter tape that you could buy and just highlight it, and then you can pull it out when you're done. Because what is
How many colors do you want?
okay, well, you got the color coding down.
Yeah.
So like so looking at like okay, what in that aspect, or even if you just do a brain dump, maybe if you do a brain dump once a day in a different journal also, then it won't come up when you're journaling. So there's
Well,
like different ways to do it.
but it's completely ridiculous to have like one journal because
Eight
if this
journals.
is the thing, I know, or you were
Eight.
if the brain dump or whatever is coming up in between, I'm going to call them the enlightened thoughts, yeah, the deep thoughts, they are, I mean, it's like the elephant in the room. You can't not address it.
But
And
you aren't addressing it really with love.
with love, yes.
With love. With love.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
But anyways,
Yeah.
we're almost out of time. Out of time. Out of time. I know
Already,
it went
no,
so
no.
fast. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's summarize this.
Well, actually, we spoke about well, different ways of keeping ourselves in our comfort zone, which is exactly, I think, also the reason why, we want to. I mean, I have a mission here on earth. You also have a mission. There's something in our hearts that we want to bring into the world. And there are so many ways that we keep ourselves from truly, fully showing ourselves to the world. For you, it's sitting on a couch,
Hey, I'm still
on
doing
a
things.
bed. Oh,
I'm still doing things just from the spot.
yeah, but me too. I mean, yeah, but this goes to show how many ways we trick ourselves, and we say
Oh,
we want
completely. We
this.
lie to ourselves.
Yes, exactly. We say we want this, and I want to, and I want, and I blah, and we even have really honest and truthful conversation where we share about I really don't understand why this is not working, but then we also keep ourselves by those patterns that we don't see. So thank you very much for holding this mirror for me.
Because it's like, where are we unconsciously keeping ourselves comfortable?
Yes.
Which is then not just impacting that moment, but it's rippling out
It's
into all
getting,
areas of our life.
yeah, and before you know it, you're a year later still sitting in your brother's basement. Maybe he needs to kick
Not
you
in the
out.
basement.
Oh, sorry. And
I
I'm
better
still
not be
needing,
hearing
and I'm
that.
still needing to go to the veterinarian. Veterinarian.
There you go.
Yeah.
Got it.
Thank you.
Got it. Check.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think.
So I guess a question that we
Oh, this
can.
like opens up a whole new thing, but we can't, like, there's no time. Because then it's like that what comes first, the chicken or the egg
Mm-hmm.
conversation of like, is it the move? Is it like taking like the action?
Mm-hmm.
we have to take action to create different results, different actions for different results.
Yes.
But then it's like, which, like for now, like for example, staying like with family and friends right now when I'm not traveling. So in my head, I'm like, well, one, I don't know where I want, like, I don't feel called to settle anywhere right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nothing is like, yes, this is it. So then it's like, well, why would I go get an apartment somewhere? Why would I go do this somewhere? Why would I go do that? Like, because I don't have a plan on staying anywhere right now.
Mm-hmm.
But then am I like, what? Then I'm also in this limbo of like, well, and I'm in this waiting when I'm not waiting, like, but well, I guess in some ways I am waiting, but it's like I'm still living.
Oh, but are you living or are you thriving? And are you using
Ooh,
the I don't feel
take that
cold?
question back.
I will not. Well, and are you using the excuse of I don't feel cold to really settle anywhere to then therefore stay in your comfort zone?
Mm. Well,
You know,
it's interesting because when you said that too, it's like, well, I could still move forward in other ways without like renting an apartment. Like I could, if I could work on getting like a longer residential visa somewhere if I want to do that, and that is like part of the process.
well, you know what I'm also feeling like I want to say is that we are meant to be expanding. Yes, if we are not
Yes.
growing, we are dying because there's no such thing as staying. It's a universal law. Yes, I will look it up and
No,
tell
but
you
I mean, we
what
are
I mean.
already completely different people than we were at the beginning of this call. We've
Yes,
already shifted and changed and grown. Like
exactly.
we're
So the
constantly.
question is, now that you know this, what are you going to be doing with it?
Mhm.
And something that came up for me when you spoke about the egg or the chicken is a quote. I think it's Tony Robbins, but don't pin me on that. He says, "How you do anything is how you do everything."
Yes.
And
Well, right now I'm doing everything from this spot.
exactly. So in everything that you do, there's a comfort. In everything that I do, there's a distraction.
Mm.
And so
Mm.
when you want to get this out of your system and out of your life and out of the
Yeah.
way that you are doing things, we are going to need to address it. And then also, what is then the next step?
Well, making new
Because,
different choices, changing shit up.
yeah, exactly.
Even
And
if it's
working
like,
with
okay,
growth.
I'm doing the calls from the floor, or okay, I'm doing like even just shifting where I'm doing things from, where I currently am,
Yes,
is changing the energy.
yes. So every day do something that is out of the ordinary.
Mhm. I mean, because I mean, it's also something I talk with clients about, right? Like we get stuck in our routines. We do. And on every level, we get stuck in our routines and we
Yeah,
don't realize we're like, oh, well, we changed that. And then now we're stuck in a new routine. So it's not, I mean, stuck isn't the right word. We get comfortable in a new routine, right?
exactly. That's,
So
yeah.
it's constantly shifting and changing so that it's getting comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Well, yes, exactly, which is very challenging because the body, the systems of the body, if you look at bijvoorbeeld at for example, the circadian rhythm and moments where we eat, the body thrives the best with going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, having the same kind of foods every day, and eating at the same moments, for example. But the body doesn't thrive the best at doing the same workouts all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something in there that is telling us that we need in some ways to find a rhythm and a balance and a routine where our nervous system can settle, so that in the other things we can
Yeah.
thrive and go and look for the new things. It's a continuously, actually, it's two waves that wave together,
Yes.
but not on
So
the same
in the
rhythm.
invitation, in summarizing all of this, because we
Yes.
have to go.
Oh yeah.
So in the
That's what you
invitation,
are
because
doing.
otherwise we'll talk for 8 hours. In the invitation for both of us
Yes.
and
And for everyone that is
everyone
looking or listening or watching us and it feels invited.
is how can you bring more discomfort in the sense of shifting things in your daily routine into every day? And then where are you moving, being aware of where you're moving back into patterns, like catching, just starting by like having the awareness of
Exactly.
like,
Catching
oh,
yourself.
I'm doing this because I'm comfortable in this. Oh, I'm doing this, like, because even that is bringing that awareness in to the day is like the biggest, like, is the first step and a big step, because once you have the awareness you can shift it. Like where am I on autopilot in some ways? Like where am I unconsciously bringing into the conscious, doing these things that are keeping me comfortable and safe, but are preventing my growth? And picking one area and shifting that shit. Shift that shit.
I was on a call with my mentor last week, and she said, I'm just looking for the exact quote, which makes, I think I already shared this with you. If you don't claim the extraordinary, the ordinary will claim you.
Yes.
And this is exactly what this is about. So it's just about going for the extraordinary, going for anything that is outside of your usual, outside of your ordinary, so you can see the new opportunities, the new chances, and grow from there and have this extraordinary life. Yeah.
Great. I'm never going to be allowed to take a call from here again. Wonderful. I'm so glad we had this conversation.
I love you. You're welcome. La,
I
la, la, la.
not only that, but now I have publicly stated that I'm moving out of my comfort zone. So I will be moving around the room and the house and finding new places to take my calls.
Well, this is very interesting. That's going to open your mind to what are other ways to take
What
my calls.
other possibilities?
Other possibilities. Maybe you won't be renting well, maybe you can rent something just for 1 month and see what happens in another space. You don't have to rent something that is forever. Maybe you have this fear of settling, but we can't talk
That's a
about
whole
this.
nother topic. Let's just not even go there.
Let's just not go there.
That's a work in progress for another time. For another time.
See you next time.
All right. See you next time. Love you.
Thank you very much for your time. Bye, beauty.
Bye.